All right. So, like I said, my name is Will Moss. I'm the CEO of HBCU Connect. Super excited to host you at our first event with LinkedIn. So, I'm going to be your moderator for this evening's event, and my role as the moderator will move us forward as we, meet the different panelists and team members from LinkedIn. I'll also inform you of what this evening will entail, and then I'm also going to be an advocate for you as candidates. And like I said, I like to see in the chat folks are introducing themselves, dropping their LinkedIn profiles. This is a super awesome opportunity for you, like I said, to be here at the right place at the right time to learn more, ask questions, engage, and potentially land an interview and a career with LinkedIn. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Quick welcome. Let me go over the agenda. I like to do that in these events. First things first, I'm gonna give a brief welcome and introduction on HBCU Connect and our relationship with LinkedIn and the opportunity for you. Then I'm going to introduce our keynote speaker, who is Karen Kimbrough, chief economist at LinkedIn. So super excited to hear from Karen, and she's going to share some experiences that she's had here at LinkedIn. And then we're going to meet some of the team members within LinkedIn who have graciously volunteered their time to share a little bit about their background, their path to LinkedIn, what they do at LinkedIn, to allow you to sort of take some notes and prepare to ask some good questions about career opportunities and culture at LinkedIn. All right, so we're going to meet some of the team members. We have 3 different panelists that I'm going to introduce. And then after we have some context on the different hiring organizations or hiring teams and the team members that are representing those teams today, then we're going to have the opportunity for you all to engage at a higher level in the breakout sessions, right? So in the breakout sessions, this is going to be a great opportunity for you to choose which breakout session you want to join. And in that breakout session, there are going to be more recruiters. There's going to be folks from talent acquisition. There will also be more team members that are actually going to talk about sort of a day in the life and roles and responsibilities that they hold. And then you're going to be able to ask questions and engage. So hopefully, if you want to use your audio and video in the breakout rooms, make sure you're in a quiet place so that you can do that, or otherwise you can use the chat. All right, then we're going to have some final words from talent acquisition when we come back from the breakout rooms to talk about next steps, the opportunities within LinkedIn that are real and how you can take advantage of that. And then we're going to wrap things up, with a word from Tim, one of our panelists. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to give a quick welcome. Like I said, if you guys are not familiar with HBCU Connect, this is your first HBCU Connect event. We're the largest organization of students and graduates from historically Black colleges and universities. We've expanded our scope over the years. We've been around since 1999, but we've expanded our scope to the larger African-American professional community, as well as the Latinx professional community, as a result of some of our partnerships that have led us to where we are today. Speaking of where we are today, this is our first event, like I said, with LinkedIn. So we're super excited about you learning more about the opportunities within LinkedIn. And like I said, the hiring organization and teams that are represented. I'm sure you all will have some good questions and conversations. But the important thing here is for you all to understand that when we host these events, we used to do these events in person all over the country. As a result of some of our partners that were doing online recruitment with us, tapping us on the shoulder and saying, hey, we want to make sure that the talent coming from HBCU Connect gets a good look from our recruiters and hiring managers. We see that folks are applying online, but we don't want them to get lost in the sea of online applications. What can we do to make sure that your candidates get a good look? So we took that input and we came back with the idea of doing exactly what was asked of us and having specific recruitment events where we could invite talent in that was relevant to the opportunities that the company had available, and then figure out where that talent was, and then host events in their backyard, and then invite our employers to bring their hiring managers, their team members, their recruiters to have conversations, to make introductions, to network, and then have interviews after the event that would lead to hires. So that's what we're doing today. Fast forward to COVID-19, we had to stop doing the events in person, unfortunately, but now we have been hosting events online, which has allowed us to kind of increase our scope or expand our scope and invite more people to the events and also host more events. So that is the opportunity here for you today. These are real opportunities with LinkedIn, as you'll see. So this is your chance to learn more, engage, and potentially land an interview and get hired. All right, so everyone, let's give a warm welcome to Karen Kimbrough, who's going to be our keynote speaker, chief economist at LinkedIn. So Karen, if you're ready.
I'm ready. Well, thank you so much. And hey, everybody, good evening. If you're further, east than me, I'm here in California, but good evening to you or good afternoon, wherever you are. And thanks for coming to join us. What I wanted to do in the next 15 minutes or so is just give you a little bit of a taste of what it's like to be here. I'm Karen Kimbrough. I'm chief economist. I think you can see my picture and my background there. And I wanted to just tell you a little bit about me and what I've done, and maybe give you a sense also of what it's like to join a tech company as a Black person, quite frankly, because I just did that 2 years ago. And I will give you a real talk, what it's been like for me. I hope that we're not going to stare at that slide the whole time. If we are, that's all right. I'll just keep talking instead of my face. Maybe you've got me.
I'll take it down. I can take it down.
Yeah, that's cool. Thanks, Will. I came to LinkedIn about 2 years ago, and it's been phenomenal. And I came from another tech company whose name I shall not speak, but I can tell you this is a really unique place. I don't know if you know much about LinkedIn, and I'll like drop a little bit of knowledge that I have on it before I close in my 15 minutes. But it's a great company. It's 18,000 employees of pure goodness and really amazing work that we do. Let me tell you about me first. I'm a Texas native. I was transplanted to the Northeast as a child and grew up in Boston. So, that explains the lack of a Texas accent. I never had the pleasure of going to an HBCU, but I am coming from a family that graduated from Xavier in Louisiana and Howard in DC. So my family has those alums. And I wish I could say that I could meet all of you in person. So I'm sorry that we're doing it virtually, but one day maybe we can go back to in person. So here at LinkedIn, I'm chief economist because I've had this long career of being an economist, both in the US, but also overseas, in London in particular. I did a lot of banking work before I moved towards the West Coast and towards a tech company. So I can definitely share with you also the perspective of going from one industry to another, because it is different working at a tech company than, say, a bank. And I will tell you that what I do, because it's a fair question, why in the world does LinkedIn need a chief economist, is I get the pleasure and the good fortune to run a team of economists, data scientists, and even policy experts who go through the data that we have here to try to understand the world of work. LinkedIn has 800 million members worldwide, and we have profile data on all of these people. They share it with us, and we're able to understand a little bit about what career paths look like in different countries, how they differ for, say, women versus men, how they differ if you are a Gen Z versus a millennial or a boomer, and what are some of the challenges and opportunities, how fast do people get promoted, what are the best paths to chart your career, what are the skills that are essential for certain roles, and even how are jobs changing over time. So we ask these questions of our data, and we don't have to torture it too much to get pretty interesting answers. And it puts us in a very unique position of having data that essentially no one else in the world really has. And it's giving us this real-time, very, very granular look at what's going on in the world of work. And you can imagine, fast forward into the pandemic, in that pandemic upending our economy, essentially, causing a lot of the labor force to kind of get interrupted or have to move home and work remote. We've had a lot of interesting observations to share. And that's not why I'm here today, but I just want to tell you that's essentially what I do, is I try to tell the story of what's happening to the world of work. And I do that with economics, data science, and leaning on all of my colleagues in the data org who are also working on really important aspects of privacy and trust and responsible AI. And you're going to hear all about that later. But what I essentially do is I sit around looking at this constellation of data that we call the economic graph. And it tells me a lot about LinkedIn that they make this available. Because, maybe I should give you an overview of the company. It's a place that really, truly believes in this vision of creating economic opportunity for every member of the global workforce. And let me say it again, because it is absolutely true. They mean it. Creating economic opportunity for every member of the global workforce. And we do that by looking at all this data and trying to ensure that not only are we, producing and showcasing great talent that represents what the community really looks like. When employers come and say we're looking for talent, we can say, we can showcase all kinds of talent. But we also make sure that our products and our innovations and our models are as free as possible from bias, and are essentially creating, an equal opportunity for everybody who comes on as a member, and for our customers who are companies that want to come on and either look for talent or market to buyers. They also should have the best possible information. And so we do a lot to ensure the integrity of our data, but at the same time, we're also not selling it. We're not, taking political ads. It's really a platform that is about putting members first. And that is ultimately what our company is about. If you ask anybody, what are our values? The first one everyone will tell you here at LinkedIn is members first. So, what's it like to be here? Well, it's pretty cool. We have this amazing platform. 6 people every minute are hired. We think it is the essential place to come when you are looking to engage as a person looking to find a job, a person looking to hire someone for a job. You want to sell something, you want to buy something, you want to showcase some advertising. We have all of those different business lines across LinkedIn. And we also have a LinkedIn Learning arm, which allows us to kind of enable people or empower them actually to kind of improve and upskill their own career journeys by doing learning themselves autonomously. So we're really proud of all the different business lines we have. And it means that ultimately it's a really exciting business, because we're kind of putting together, if you will, all the different sides of the workplace, from learning to talent acquisition, to just networking and engaging. We have all of it in one place. And it's been a really, really positive experience for me in the last 2 years. And maybe before I close out, because I know you guys want to get onto the actual business of talking to folks and going to the breakout rooms, let me give you a little sense of what it's like just to be here as a Black woman. I worked someplace else before and really enjoyed it, but was very aware of feeling like I was the only one in the room. Very aware of feeling that I needed to kind of advocate for myself, kind of constantly looking for that safe space. And I have not had that challenge at LinkedIn. I have felt as if this is a company that doesn't just talk about diversity. They don't even say D&I. They say diversity, inclusion, and belonging. All right. So it's not enough just to have a bunch of people in the room that might look different. Everyone needs to feel included. Everyone needs to feel like they belong. And this is absolutely mission critical at LinkedIn. So I want to kind of tell you real talk that this has been an experience for me of one of complete inclusion. And it's not just if you're African-American or Latinx. There are many, many variants and facets of what diversity means, and LinkedIn is seeking to kind of move forward on all of those fronts. Now, in terms of the talent that we are looking for, you couldn't imagine the kind of talent we hire. We hire everything from linguists to data scientists to software engineers. I hire economists, but there's a range of talent that's needed when you're creating a platform that's meant to serve everybody. And hopefully you'll get a chance to have more talk with actual folks in our org, in just a couple of minutes. And so I want to just close out by saying, if anything, you know, if you asked me what I think LinkedIn means to work here, there's 18,000 of us and we might all have different answers, but what I think it means is that it has a really unique company culture. We have this vision I mentioned about creating economic opportunity. We mean it. We're growing at a rapid pace. And we're like acquiring on the business side, lots of new members through Gen Z and folks who aren't maybe white collar workers in the traditional sense, but first line workers who work in hourly wages or in roles that don't require four-year degrees. So we're kind of really casting a much wider, more inclusive net in the product that we want to serve up to the community. And at the same time, we're doing it in a way inside LinkedIn that is hugely collaborative, where we kind of really emphasize communication, candor. So nobody's blowing smoke at you. They will tell you if something's not working, but candor with compassion, communication, and a lot of collaboration. And those for me are the tenets of what culture at LinkedIn is all about. So I'm going to stop here. I want to turn it back to Will. And let me just say, I hope you have a phenomenal rest of this event. Thank you so much for giving me a little bit of the time. And I hope to see some of you here soon.
Is it okay if I give you a little bit more time with a couple of follow-up questions?
Absolutely.
I would love to ask, what is it that sold you on making the move to LinkedIn in the first place? Like as a part of either the interview process or your research beforehand, what sold you on LinkedIn?
So I actually got recruited to LinkedIn via LinkedIn, you know, by the, hey, have you seen this job? This might work for you. Jobs you might be interested in. And it was my dream job. And then as I got to know the folks that I would be working with, I realized really quickly that not only was it going to be my dream job, but I was going to have this dream set of colleagues and collaborators to work alongside with and learn from. And that's really the cool thing, is that whatever expertise you're going to bring, or whatever expertise I brought, that was just one slice of the pie. There was a whole bunch of other experts that were willing to kind of work with me. And that's kind of how we make something really special, is when you bring in a lot of different diverse perspectives, whether it's expertise or just, you know, life lived and learned. And that's what sold me on LinkedIn.
Awesome. One more question that I like to ask when I'm hosting these types of events with our panelists, and that is, what is it for you personally? What is it that you like most about working for LinkedIn now that you've been there for a couple of years?
Okay, so for me personally, I actually like the feel-good aspect of our vision. I like the feeling that we're doing something special and that it's making a difference in the world. People come on and they engage with each other. They talk, they collaborate, they, you know, challenge each other with ideas and question. But this platform that we're building, at the end of the day, is really connecting people to opportunity. And I feel good about being part of that. There are many other places where you may not have the same sense of purpose, but when you come here, you really do feel like we are connected and very clear in that vision and purpose. And that motivates me.
Awesome. Well, let me be the first to thank you for being our keynote at our first event here with LinkedIn. So thank you for your time, and for our
Thanks
candidates. We really, on behalf of our candidates, I just wanted to thank you.
My pleasure. Bye, guys.
All right, cool. So let's go ahead and start with our team introduction. So I'm going to bring my slides back up, and let me introduce our panelists. So first we have Tim Yurka, Senior Director of Engineering, Janelle Bray, Director of Engineering, Justin Dyer, Senior Staff Data Scientist. So first, Tim is going to present and introduce himself, followed by Janelle and then Justin. So Tim, if you're ready.
I'm ready to go. And your mispronunciation of Yurka is the most common I get as a second generation American. My parents came here from Poland, and I can tell you that it even frustrated them a lot, but we're making progress. We're making progress.
Excellent.
Hey everyone, my name is Tim Yurka. I'm Senior Director of Data Engineering at LinkedIn. I lead what's called our consumer data teams, which are responsible for everything you might interact with once you click on the LinkedIn app button or visit linkedin.com. I don't have nearly as cool of a title as Karen with that chief economist title. But I still think that the problems we work on in the consumer data space are super exciting. I decided to start by just disarming all of you with cute baby photos to start with. But we can move well past that already to the next slide. So I came from a pretty non-traditional background. I just want to spend a little bit of time talking about this because I think this kind of alludes to what Karen was talking about diversity, inclusion, and belonging from many different facets at LinkedIn, and how LinkedIn fosters people from different backgrounds. And you'll hear this from some of the other panelists as well. So I lead an AI and data science team at LinkedIn, but actually my background is in political science. So I actually started my career as a PhD student at UC Davis in the political science department. I can't say I have my PhD because I dropped out to join a startup. But a lot of the work I was doing there was applied machine learning for political communication, studying things like the 2012 presidential debate, looking at ways we could crowdsource opinions on the debates live from students, automatically classify them using machine learning, studying the top issues of the American electorate over time. It was just a super phenomenal time in my life to see the intersection of political science and AI machine learning, and learn a lot from AI machine learning experts. And ultimately, I actually decided to, after doing that for 3 years and actually spending some time at the University of Essex doing the summer school in social science and data analysis, I decided to leave for a small startup called Pulse, which was a news reading application. And they needed a machine learning guy to basically build their first news recommendation stack. And they're like, hey, you're doing this in the political communication space. Why not do it at Pulse? And it was a whirlwind. I was only there 4 months, and LinkedIn was like, hey, we kind of want this company at LinkedIn. And the rest is kind of history, as you'll see on this next slide, where most of my career has been fostered and developed at LinkedIn. I'm very fortunate to have worked with tons of people at LinkedIn that understood the importance of getting diverse perspectives into the engineering organization, that looked past the fact that I did not have an AI machine learning background in the strictest sense, that I was coming from a political science background academically, and very fortunate to have mentors that tried to really guide me through what I would want to do next. And so I spent several years as a technical lead individual contributor at LinkedIn. I then transitioned into management and started leading our news feed and search teams. And today I actually lead all the teams that personalize and make the LinkedIn app more intelligent. And so there's so many interesting problems here when it comes to the flagship application and newsfeed. Everything from, I mean, as I'm sure you've heard, the impact of social networks on society, their role in fostering productive conversations and positive conversations. So there's all sorts of ethical and fairness problems when it comes to the LinkedIn newsfeed and how we define those machine learning problems and hold ourselves accountable. There's all sorts of interesting problems when it comes to recruiter search and LinkedIn search, and how we make sure that search algorithms, when they come to surfacing opportunities to people, but also when recruiters are searching for candidates, are fair and not biased in the ways that they surface candidates to recruiters and surface opportunities to individuals. And last but not least, just how we make sure that we balance this entire marketplace. LinkedIn app is like the center where all these things converge, people learning skills, people looking for jobs, people looking to read content, searching for opportunities, and finding a way to balance that in a way that advances economic opportunity is just one of the most interesting problems when it comes to the intersection of social science, AI, machine learning, data science, and I think it's really, to Karen's point, the company is just incredibly focused on those kinds of end outcomes after balancing that marketplace. How are we creating economic opportunity for people, not just solving interesting problems for the sake of it and using cool tools and deep learning models for the sake of it, but really looking at positive outcomes and making sure we're helping people move forward in their career and identifying economic opportunity. If I were to call it like what's kept me here at LinkedIn, I've been here close to 10 years now. Number one is just how the company fosters talent and really invests in employees and making sure that you feel that like you belong and that you're growing and that you are growing in ways that are aligned with your interests. And the second is just the economic data that LinkedIn has and the mission and vision of the company. I can't think of a mission I am more aligned with than just helping people advance in their career. It feels good when you see like an A/B test in the LinkedIn feed, and it's like, you found 3% more people on LinkedIn confirmed jobs. We actually have a metric called confirmed hires. And sometimes our engineers are just like, oh yeah, we moved confirmed hires 3%. And I have to tell them, pause and reflect on that. You literally found jobs for 3% more members on LinkedIn. You made sure that they secured salaries, which help support their family, support their community. Just the positive impact that you can have with LinkedIn data is incredible. And that's what keeps me here to this day, a decade later. And I'm still super optimistic about the future. And I think if you join, you will just find a ton of like-minded people that are super passionate about this mission and vision, as Karen also mentioned. So with that, that's my journey to where I'm at and what I do at LinkedIn. And I will hand it off to Janelle to introduce herself.
Hello, I'm Janelle. I'm a director at LinkedIn in the anti-abuse AI team. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I came to LinkedIn and my career journey, and then talk a little bit about what the anti-abuse AI team does, just so you can get a slice of what we do on a daily basis here. So I have actually a background in chemistry from University of Oregon, go Ducks, and chemistry and math. And then when I was in undergrad, I found out the third year that you could go to grad school for science and actually make a salary. So I was very excited about that. And I went to grad school at Caltech, and I started doing computational biology research. And in that research, I started doing some machine learning. And then I decided I kind of wasn't cut out for academia, and I was really interested in going into industry, and I ended up going to LinkedIn. And at LinkedIn, I joined as was a data scientist in the security organization. And I was there, and then our team kind of morphed into anti-abuse AI. I was in the team for a few years, and then I became a manager, and I think I was the sixth person in the team, and actually the first woman. And then in that 6-person team, and now our team is like 38 people and half women. So that's kind of exciting. And so yeah, I've been here not as long as Tim, but about 8.5 years. And actually I remember doing manager training with Tim. So we became managers around the same time. And I've also, so it's been, obviously I love it here since I've been here for 8.5 years. And I've also had 2 kids while I was here. So it's very supportive, a very supportive place to be too, and have a family. And so if we can go to the next, actually, okay, so I'm going to talk about anti-abuse AI. And so our team basically keeps LinkedIn members safe using data and machine learning. So, Tim talks about all the great things we can do on LinkedIn, and that's true. But while that happens, we need to make sure that these members are not scammed, applying to fake jobs, communicating with fake accounts, etc. And okay, we can go, I think the next one was actually my background, so we can skip that one because I already talked about that. So what's really great about working in abuse at LinkedIn is LinkedIn says that trust is its #1 priority, but it really is. It's really core to every part of our business. There is a trust organization, but every team at LinkedIn is in charge of making sure their products are trustworthy. And we've been recognized as the most trusted social platform for the last 5 years. So on the next slide, I just want to talk a little bit about the anti-abuse AI team. You can see there we are virtually doing COVID, there we were before COVID. And so we use machine learning. We use very large data sets to build automated systems that detect abuse on LinkedIn to keep members safe, not space. On the next slide, just want to talk about a little few of the challenges specifically of the abuse area is that we don't have great labels. So abusers don't tell us that they're fake or abusive. So there's a lot of work we do to get good labels, whether it's kind of anomaly detection or active learning, et cetera. And then sometimes we don't have as much signal as we'd like. So we do a lot of digging into the data and coming up with features. And then it's adversarial. So once we launch a model to detect abuse, the attackers evolve. But these are challenges, but they're also like very exciting technical challenges to solve. On the next slide, I'll show just some list of techniques we use. We use everything from binary classification to clustering, natural language processing. And a lot of these are used across LinkedIn and not just in anti-abuse. And then next slide. So these are just some presentations we've given about our work and just what is like a day-to-day work in the team. So everything from just looking into the data, a lot of data curiosity and investigating patterns of abuse, producing, model features, writing up tech specs, reviewing code, and then, talking with the rest of the team and having fun, celebrating birthdays, work anniversaries, getting together, now more in person, but it was virtual for a while. And then I think maybe one or two on the next slide, I can talk about just LinkedIn. I think it just really does have a great culture. We say members first, LinkedIn is members first. And in the abuse world, I really see that. Like every decision we make, we think very carefully, like how will this affect members? And we're very, very conscious about how we use member data, and we're very privacy conscious. And at LinkedIn, the management philosophy is a compassionate leadership philosophy. And I think that's very important. Just thinking about what each person needs in their career. People are very helpful and nice. As we say, LinkedIn relationships matter. And we just ask a lot of questions and have a lot of fun together. So I think that's it for me. And I will hand it off to Justin. Thanks.
So our next speaker is Justin Dyer, Senior Staff Data Scientist. Justin, if you're ready.
I'm ready. Thanks, Will.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, can you see my video? Not sure if I'm up or not. But
Oh, okay. Did you want to share a video? So let me.
No, I just didn't know. Sorry, I just didn't
Oh,
know.
yeah. Oh, okay. I see your video feed. Yeah, you're good. You're good. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. So thank you all very much for kind of giving me the chance to come here and spend some time with you all. I think so I guess a little bit about me. Here's a little bit of a profile, but I probably won't go through it point by point. I've been here at LinkedIn for a couple of years. I'm a senior staff data scientist, so kind of a little bit different from Tim and Janelle in the sense that I'm an individual contributor as opposed to a manager, which means that I kind of spend a bit more of my time on technical, kind of like working on the technical solutions for relatively large problems that LinkedIn encounters in the data science space. I grew up in Manhattan, Kansas, Little Apple, we call it, and kind of have taken a fairly circuitous route to LinkedIn. I think that's, one of the interesting things about LinkedIn is that I think you see people with kind of very sort of direct paths at LinkedIn, and as they've gone through LinkedIn, and you've also seen people that have kind of, maybe as opposed to climbing a ladder, have ended up in more of a spider web sort of scenario where you spend a lot of time kind of exploring sideways and different spaces before you kind of, as you progress in your career. So I spent some time in quantitative research and trading before I came to LinkedIn, some time as a biostatistician, and also working in the construction industry on designing instrumentation to measure the smoothness of road pavements. I guess my first sort of data science role, if you can call it that, was actually back in high school where I worked as a baseball and basketball scorekeeper in my community, and actually a game announcer, which is probably shocking to most people that know me these days. I really got interested in statistics probably most deeply in undergrad and early in my graduate career when I was actually working on wireless communications problems, and kind of found that while I understood some of the, kind of the mechanics of what I was doing, I felt like I was missing some of the foundations. And that's kind of ultimately what led me, when I was looking to kind of further my graduate education, to actually applied to both electrical engineering programs and statistics programs, and ultimately ended up in a statistics department. I'd say I got very lucky in that I kind of fell into statistics, pretty much just a few years before the data science craze sort of took off. So in a lot of sense, I've kind of lucked into a career that I kind of pursued out of enjoyment, but that has also ended up having a tremendous amount of sort of economic opportunity over the years. Kind of independent of my own initial interest. So with that, I think I'd love to show a little bit of actually some of the work that Karen and her group does. So this comes out of the Economic Graph Research and Insights team. And so let's talk about data scientists in general here in the US. We've seen kind of over the course of the last few years, and we can see this in actual LinkedIn data that we collect, that there is a shortage of data scientists broadly across the US, which is leading to some skills gaps. And as you can see in this animation, actually over time, this has increased, and it's pretty much a global phenomenon. Basically every major city, we've seen this gap grow over time. So there's a tremendous amount of demand for this sort of these sorts of skills and this sort of ability. And that's true in the broader workforce, but also here at LinkedIn. So here at LinkedIn, just to tell you a little bit about our data science team itself, there's roughly 300, I think we're kind of trending towards 400 data scientists at this point. And they're, I think, let's see, we're in 6 of our 7 offices, if I'm not mistaken. Or I guess it's 7. So we have San Francisco and the South Bay Area here in California, and then New York, Dublin, in Bangalore, we have quite a large team, and then some in Beijing and Singapore as well. So we're pretty broadly based geographically. Most of us are here in California, but the other teams are not small. I think the other interesting thing about working at LinkedIn and in data science in particular is you might think of it traditionally as a statistics and or computer science sort of field. We actually hire from a very wide array of different backgrounds, everything from statistics and math to journalists and high school teachers, actually former high school teachers. And this kind of spans everything from bachelor's up through doctorate, and just an enormous number of countries and cultures and languages. And this for me is particularly interesting. I've had an interest in modern languages since a young age. So I enjoy the chance to really get to interact with a lot of people from a lot of different places here at LinkedIn. In terms of the work we do, our mission is to maximize the power of data to benefit all of LinkedIn through science and engineering. And we do that by, we do that kind of across the whole organization, and essentially every unique function that LinkedIn is involved in. And so that's everything from product, so the flagship product that Tim works so hard on, and is the one that you probably see more on a regular basis, but also some of our jobs platform, some of our marketing and sales solutions, and then also in some of the work that Karen and her team does in government policy, interacting with policymakers, NGOs, and think tanks around the world, helping them understand the labor market better. And then on our own, in our own efforts to sell some of our products, we have a team of data scientists that works in operations for them. And then, of course, as a big tech company, we have a huge amount of infrastructure that needs to be supported, and it's extremely costly and needs to work all the time. And so we spend a lot of time analyzing that data and actually trying to optimize our own internal operations based on data science principles. And then this all kind of ties back into a couple of horizontal efforts that we have. One is around applied research, and we have a number of tracks there. I saw somebody earlier was asking about computational social science. That's one of the teams within our applied research. We also work on experimentation, forecasting, differential privacy, and responsible data use. And then on the productivity front, we have teams that work on building data science tools and infrastructure for use internally by our own data scientists and machine learning engineers. So what is kind of like the daily life of a data scientist at LinkedIn look like? We hire for sort of, I would say, 3 different personas, more or less. And this is not a super strict characterization, but our biggest kind of group of data scientists works on what we call strategy and insights. So this is analyzing our product, running experiments, working with product or sales or marketing teams to understand their data better, and then turning those into insights that we can leverage to improve the business and improve the product for our members. The second one, kind of the second, I think, vertex here in the triangle is inference. So we have data scientists that are more methodologically focused. So they're designing new types of experiments, new statistical methodologies, new models, and using those then, finding applications for those throughout LinkedIn. And then finally, kind of as I alluded to, there are data engineers that are principally focused on infrastructure. So how can we build the tools that then the rest of the team can leverage in order to do their work on a daily basis and to support all of the model fitting, data analysis, and insights that we're generating on a daily basis. So with that, I think I'll turn it back over to Will to kind of kick us off with the breakout sessions.
Excellent. Thank you, Justin, and also Janelle and Tim. So I want to thank you guys for being our panelists and for sharing your insight and experiences. And what I want to go into next is the breakout sessions. So before we jump into the breakout sessions and before I open up the breakout sessions, I wanted to kind of explain how that's going to work. So we're going to have 3 breakout sessions, one for flagship products, and Tim Yurka is going to be in that, along with a couple of the software engineers and data scientists under flagship products. Also, there's going to be an anti-abuse AI breakout session or breakout room, which will be hosted by Janelle Bray and a couple of software engineers on that team. Then we'll also have a data science breakout session or breakout room that's going to be hosted by Justin Dyer and a team of data scientists from his team. So those will be the 3 different breakout rooms. So now, if you're not familiar with etiquette or how to use breakout sessions or breakout rooms within LinkedIn, what's going to happen is I'm going to open up those breakout sessions, and within LinkedIn, either through the app or through the desktop, app, or even the web, there will be an option for you to click on that says breakout rooms, right? And once you click on breakout rooms, once I open them up, you'll see these 3 options, and then you can self-select which breakout room you want to go to. Now, you can also come back to the main session where we are right now, and then you can jump into a different breakout room if you so choose. Now, we have a lot of people on the call or on our event, so feel free to choose the room that interests you most. But we need some rules of engagement based on the number of people that we have here. And what I'm going to ask of you, so that we can give folks a chance to ask questions, we can give the LinkedIn team a chance to introduce themselves as well, and go into a little bit about what they do in the day in the life, so that you know who you're talking to in the breakout sessions. But after they do that, you all will have the chance to engage and ask questions. Now, you can do that by turning on your video and then unmuting yourself when it's your turn to ask a question. But first, I'm going to ask that you use the raise hand feature so that the LinkedIn team can see that you have a question, and then you'll also queue up an order so that they can choose or ask you to go ahead and then ask your question. And then the way you use the raise hand feature is called reactions. So within Zoom, there's a feature called reactions. If you click on reactions, you'll see the option to raise hand. And so if you see my video feed right now, you see the raise hand option. And then also within reactions, once you finish asking your question, then you can lower hand and then that'll disappear. And then the LinkedIn folks can kind of round robin as you ask questions. Now, if you're not prepared to turn on your audio and video to ask your question, you can also ask the question in the chat. So to our LinkedIn folks, if you want to also keep an eye on the chat and engage and answer questions in the chat as that, live discussions are going on, I would definitely encourage the LinkedIn team members that will be in the breakout sessions to monitor the chat and answer questions in the chat as well, or reiterate those questions to our panelists. So with that, I will stay here in the main session so that if anyone is dialing in by phone and they need help getting assigned to a breakout session, you guys can either send me a direct message or just come off of mute and ask for help to get into a breakout session once I open them up. All right, so with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and open up our breakout sessions. If you have any technical issues, which can happen sometimes, if you're on the web browser or on the app, you may need to disconnect from the session, from this Zoom session, and just reconnect to the Zoom session. Then I can help you get into the right breakout session. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to open up our breakout rooms. Like I said, we have flagship products, anti-abuse AI, and data science. So the rooms are now open. So you can now use the breakout session feature to self-select the room to go into. And the same goes for our LinkedIn team members. If anyone needs any help, like I said, I'll stay here in the main session and then I can start helping folks get moved into the right rooms. All right, good luck, enjoy. You have roughly 35 minutes. To our LinkedIn team members, you should have co-host permissions. So if you need to moderate within the breakout sessions, you should be able to do that. If you need to mute folks or stop video feeds, that kind of thing.
How do I don't see the breakout rooms at the bottom. Can you assign me to flagship?
Yeah, no problem. I can assign you to flagship. So Pat.
Can you also assign me to flagship, Will?
So Padmini and Gabrielle.
Please.
1 second. Let's see here.
And can you please assign me to data science?
1 second. Let me do one at a time real quick. 1 second. Okay, flagship.
Padmini.
And then Gabrielle. Let's see here. Gabrielle.
Could you please assign me to data science?
I'm sorry. What's your name?
Augustine.
Augustine. Let's see. Augustine.
Oh.
Data science. And the other gentleman, what was your name?
Samuel Okoye.
Samuel. Let's see here.
Science.
I'm sorry, data science?
Yeah.
Okay, 1 second. Oops.
I got it. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And Jules to the product, flagship product.
Okay, 1 second. Got it. And then Tamika and Reg, are you guys still here in the main session?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, Tamika, if you want to jump in to support, let me see 1 second. If you can jump in to support data science. And
Okay.
let's see, and then Reggie, hey Reg, you here?
Yes.
If you can jump in to support flagship.
So which one? I got data science, anti-abuse AI, and flagship products. This is Tamika.
I'm sorry, there's the Tamika on my team.
Oh.
But did you need help joining one of the sessions?
No, I got it.
Okay, Thanks.
Thank you.
No problem. If anyone else needs help jumping into a breakout room or breakout session, just let me know.
Well, I think we still have 19 folks unassigned.
Yep. I can either manually assign them.
I mean, except
or-
for the LinkedIn, right? Like, I mean, except us, and somebody just admitted, just came in as well.
So to any of our candidates that are in the main session with us now, if you need help being assigned to a breakout session, just let us know. There's flagship products, anti-abuse AI, and data science. Just let me know. And then, of course, you can also do it manually through LinkedIn by using the breakouts button.
Through Zoom.
Yeah, through Zoom. I'm sorry. Breakout rooms button through Zoom. There you go.
Yeah. I'm
So
not sure everyone's on the phone or.
Yeah, these could be users on the phone, but sometimes Zoom, the state gets messed up, it seems like, technically. So this, yeah, I've seen this before.
Somebody else so just entered.
Okay, let's see.
Bella, do you want to, I mean, can we hop between, Bella and I can hop between rooms, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep.
Bella, shall we jump into one of them?
That's what I was just doing. Each of them seem like they have at least 4 people from LinkedIn. Since it looks like data science has the most. Do you want to jump into there, or should we jump into flagship?
Let's do DS first and then come back. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, I'll be here. I'll help assign candidates.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let me pause the recording.
From the participants, if you guys were not here, we would not be here. So I personally want to say thank you so much for joining this event. It's been a truly success, and we are so excited to have everybody here. The next step, so everyone get your phones ready, get the link. We're going to put a link in the chat where you can apply to the jobs. We have 2 jobs that are open, the AI and the data science. Snap those pictures, get those QR codes, snap them. If not, we'll put them in the chat. After that, go ahead and apply. The next step is within the next couple of days, you'll receive an email from myself or my counterpart, Bella, wanting to set up a one-on-one so we can tell you about the next steps in the next process with interviewing here at LinkedIn. This is going to be a great experience, so buckle up. I can't wait to chat with every one of you guys to see how far we can get you, and connect with me on LinkedIn. You know, let's start a chat. If you don't fall underneath the 2 job recs that we're looking for, connect with me on LinkedIn, because there are tons of jobs out there inside this organization. So thank you again for joining this. Natasha, is there anything you would like to add?
Yeah, again, thank you. I think totally what Jeffrey said. thank you for participating, being here. I know everyone's in different time zones. Really appreciate that. Also, I know a lot of you did not get your questions answered in the breakout sessions. My team has shared their LinkedIn profiles with you. Please connect, even if it's not specific to DS, data science and AI. We can help you navigate and help you to like put through the jobs that are here. So Jeffrey's links there, LinkedIn profile. I would ask all our team members, please put in your LinkedIn profiles there, and please connect. And if you have any questions, just reach out to us, and we'll help you navigate through the process or any other teams that you would want to be part of. So appreciate that. Again, thank you, everyone. Thank you for the panelists for taking time to be here. And these are the jobs that are posted. Please feel free to apply, and Jeffrey will get in touch with folks who reached out to him directly.
Awesome. So like I said, everyone, you all are in the right place at the right time. Natasha, thank you. Jeffrey, thank you. And to our candidates, what you see, I have on the screen, the two recs from LinkedIn, artificial intelligence engineer and data scientist. There are two different requisitions, but that doesn't mean there's only two jobs, right? It doesn't mean, so there could be lots of opportunities for AI professionals, data science professionals as well. And then the broader opportunities at LinkedIn. As you can see, this is a great company to work for. Folks that we've interfaced with have been super excited about sharing these opportunities with you. And again, if you apply to these positions, you will be a part of folks that come from this event, and they will know that you came from this event. So there will be that engagement and opportunity presented to you as being a part of this event. So thank you all to our candidates. Now, what I usually like to do at the end of the event is talk about next steps. So if you also, we're going to share all of your resumes with the LinkedIn team. So if you want to make sure that we have your latest resume, you can just go to hbcuconnect.com/LinkedIn and submit your resume there. And then we'll share your resume with the LinkedIn team as well. But be sure to use the links that we're going to send out after this event to apply for opportunities at LinkedIn. So we will send that out via email as well. Now, what I like to do next is give any final words of encouragement and advice. I like to hand that over to Tim, if I can put you on the spot, Tim, in lieu of our keynote not being available. I'll give Tim the last words. And to our candidates, if you guys want to turn on your video feed, I'd love to get a screenshot of your smiling faces before we go. But Tim, if you're ready.
Yeah, I hope I can hold a candle to Karen's opening address. So I'll give it a shot. But really, the breakout sessions were amazing. It was amazing to connect with all of you here today. I just, coming from a background of a political scientist, I loved to see all the people that were here also for non-AI and DS roles that are looking to break into the industry, are looking for kind of next steps for how to get started. So thank you all for joining here today. We didn't talk a lot about our REACH program. I'm going to do a pitch here in addition for our REACH program. I'm going to put the link in the chat. This is for folks who may not have a STEM background or an engineering background, but are starting to make a career pivot into engineering field or data field. And the application process is different. It's for an apprenticeship, not a full-time like entry-level role at the company, where you will be evaluated based on the diverse perspective you're bringing to the role, your technical chops based on a technical baseline. And then when you join LinkedIn, you're partnered with a mentor to kind of start onboarding you and teaching you kind of like how the industry works in that kind of role. I love that we had so many people from non-AI DS backgrounds here. This is seriously what LinkedIn is about. If you talk about LinkedIn's values, it's about career transformation. It's about transforming yourself as a person. It's about creating economic opportunity for others. So I hope that we can answer all the different messages we're getting from all of you and connect you to the right people and make sure we can find the right program fit for all of you. And with that, it was just such a pleasure meeting all of you today. Really looking forward to connecting with you. I'm serious. I'm very responsive on LinkedIn Messenger. Feel free to connect, and I'm going to try to get through as many messages as I can after this. And take care. I hope to see you all again soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Tim. And to everybody who's comfortable with turning on your video, I like to get a quick screenshot. So if you guys 3, 2, 1, cheese. Everybody, let's smile. There we go. Okay, thank you. But let me thank everyone for attending, because without you all coming, this would not be possible. let me also thank LinkedIn and the team at LinkedIn that has worked with us to pull this event off, for even tapping us on the shoulder to start this partnership and see how we can help connect LinkedIn with more folks from the HBCU and African American and Latinx audience that we're connected to. This for me is personally a little bit surreal because I'm a software engineer. I built HBCU Connect as one of the first social networks on the internet. And I often describe HBCU Connect as a HBCU version of LinkedIn. And but we've been around for a long time. So to have this partnership is something special for me. And I feel also it's very special that there are opportunities, and I look forward to hearing from you all about your experience interviewing and for some of you landing jobs, because that's what happens after these events. So again, thanks to the LinkedIn team for presenting your opportunities. Thanks to all of our candidates for coming, showing up, and making this event possible. And everyone have a great evening, and look out for an email from us on next steps as well. Take care. Thank you.